Senator Legarda is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I speak before you today against the backdrop of an emerging ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, by December of 2015. ASEAN is one of the most diverse regions in the world. It is a region of 32,000 islands spanning over 4 million square kilometers and hosting more than 600 million people who speak more than 900 different languages and dialects. It is a region that seeks to create a community anchored on the strength of its diversity. ASEAN, in pursuit of an ASEAN Economic Community, operates on the assumption that with open borders and free intra-ASEAN trade, more investments will come in and therefore improve the region's capability and competitiveness. The AEC, it is believed, will allow the region to gain greater influence in the global economic and political stage. This optimism is fueled by ASEAN's resilient economic performance over the past 2 years. The AEC, as the experts claim, will set the stage for ASEAN as a single market and production base that would create opportunities for business complementation, thereby transforming ASEAN into a vital segment of the global supply chain. A look at basic facts would seem to support these assumptions. ASEAN, as a regional group, has the third largest market in Asia, after China and Japan. It is a huge and young market with a rising middle class. In terms of trade, it is the fourth largest in the world, trailing only the European Union, North America, and China. And if ASEAN were a single entity, it would rank as the 8th largest economy in the world. ASEAN is rich in natural and human resources. Its GDP has grown over 170% over the past decade, amounting to $1.8 trillion by 2011. As we pursue the pathway that will bring the economies and people of ASEAN under a single economic community, we also have to be mindful of the following glaring facts that hound our people in this region. The agenda of poverty eradication is one of the goals of ASEAN, and yet, nearly 50 years after its creation, almost 13%, or 76 million of the region's people, continue to live below the World Bank's international poverty line of $1.25 a day. About 415 infants die each day in the region. More than 1/3 of the region's people have no access to improved drinking water sources. Income distribution and equality concerns abound, as evidenced by the fact that GDP per capita across ASEAN can be as low as $800 to a high of $49,000. The ASEAN region is dominated by micro, small, and medium enterprises, accounting for 98% of all enterprises and about 85% of total employment in the region. Many of these continue to operate as subsistence-based enterprises, which, if left unprepared or if they remain uncompetitive, will find little benefit from an AEC. The Department of Foreign Affairs reports that as of 2010, duties have been eliminated on 99.2% of tariff lines for the ASEAN 6 member states, including Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. In the case of Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam, tariff has been reduced from 0 to 5% on 97.52% of tariff lines. This is partly the reason why we see a significant level of goods from other ASEAN countries in our market today. For the consumers, this can mean wider choices, lower product costs, and exposure to ASEAN brands. For Philippine MSMEs that are not able to bring their production costs down and to compete against well-supported MSMEs of other countries, this development can spell the end. Is it the fault of small businesses that many of them have remained uncompetitive? While this may be so in certain respects, let us not forget that MSMEs do not operate in a vacuum. They operate in an ecosystem, part of which relates to infrastructure support, sustainable and affordable power, government support in innovation efforts, among others. It is often said by officials from the DFA and the DTI that December 2015 is not the culmination of the economic integration for ASEAN. They say that based on the latest scorecard as compiled by the ASEAN Secretariat, the Philippines has a score of 87.2%. The scorecard, they say, is used to facilitate benchmarking in ASEAN and for monitoring progress. It is also said that we should regard December 2015 as a milestone, given that integration is an ongoing process. It is an evolution, much like what ASEAN itself has been. But where, I ask, is this pathway leading to insofar as our MSMEs are concerned? I have nothing against an ASEAN Economic Community. In fact, we should collectively strive that it should not fail. And let me explain why. A survey done by the Asian Development Bank in 2013 suggests that 55% of businesses in ASEAN are not even aware of an ASEAN Economic Community. The conclusion suggests that there is a general lack of awareness of ASEAN Economic Community 2015. More alarming is a result of a survey done by ASEAN and the Japan ASEAN Integration Fund, which says that 76% of the people in ASEAN member states lacks a basic understanding about ASEAN. There is huge familiarity in the ASEAN name, but the people's knowledge of ASEAN stops there. This brings me to my question, Mr. President. How is ASEAN integration possible given the reality that its people barely understand what an ASEAN Economic Community is all about? How can the impacts of ASEAN or AEC redound to the benefits of an uninformed and unengaged ASEAN public? MSMEs are the backbone of the ASEAN economies. Their contribution to GDP is about 30 to 50%, and they account for 19 to 31% of their economy's exports. They also account for the largest source of domestic employment across all economic sectors in both rural and urban areas. Clearly, the MSMEs are vital in supporting regional integration through the ASEAN Economic Community. If big businesses, as a survey shows, are not aware of AEC, how can we expect the MSMEs to be informed of what is in store for them? MSMEs are clearly susceptible to greater competition, given that they have limited access to finance and technologies as well as markets. They have limited capacities for compliance with standards and certification. Under this scenario, micro, small, and medium enterprises are likely to lose out in deeper competition that will be ushered by AEC. We also have to understand what is happening in the regional market. Asian companies are into mergers and acquisitions. Just to name a few, Thai billionaire Charoen Sirivad Hanabagdi undertook Southeast Asia's biggest takeover, acquiring Fraser and Neve Limited, the leader of Singapore and Malaysia's soft drinks market, for $11.2 billion. Another Thai firm, Charoen Pokpan Group, an agriculture conglomerate, paid $9.4 billion for HSBC Holdings, their entire stake in Chinese life insurer Ping An Group of China Limited. Philippine conglomerate San Miguel Corporation sold the majority stake in Bank of Commerce to CIMB Group Holdings in May 2012 for $288.3 million. Given these developments, the Wall Street Journal observed that 2012 was a year when Southeast Asia stole the limelight from China, playing host to some of Asia's biggest and most contested mergers and acquisitions. How can MSMEs, which account for 98% of all enterprises in the ASEAN region, compete with these giants? It therefore behooves me to ask, Mr. President, what has been done or is being done to prepare our micro, small, and medium enterprises for the 2015 scenario? These realities bring to light the question, does free trade, the free flow of goods and services, the mobility of people across economies in the region, single market and production base, investment liberalization, among other things that an ASEAN Economic Community seeks to realize, matter for the region's poor? On another front, North America and Western Europe are not expected to be the same robust destination markets for manufacturing exports as they were in the past, as they seek to recover from the impacts of the financial and economic crisis of 2008. This compels developing economies, including the Philippines, to rely more on South-South regional trade. Productivity needs to be enhanced and diversified into high-end manufacturing and services. If played out wisely, ASEAN's bold vision of achieving the free flow of goods, services, investment, and skilled labor in the region may help us achieve higher productivity and economic diversification, but we have to play our cards well. Clearly, innovation and creativity play a significant role in transforming small businesses into competitive components of the ASEAN value chain. We need to develop industries that will be innovators rather than consumers of technology. Many studies have shown that ASEAN SMEs are users rather than creators of technology. Research is weak, and there is very little collaboration with industries on research projects. We need to build internal innovation competencies given the nascent stage of research in ASEAN. Mr. President, ASEAN is no longer business as usual. We cannot pursue development based on borrowed technologies. Inertia needs to be replaced by innovation. All of these start with education. In 2004, the Bologna process was launched to create a European higher education area by 2010. The process aimed to make degrees comparable across European borders and included features like a common study cycle of bachelor's, master's, and doctorates, a European-wide quality assurance register, and a transferable credit system. Is there such a parallel effort on the part of ASEAN? How is ASEAN addressing this area? Mr. President, the words ASEAN Economic Community invite optimism, but they also evoke a sense of uncertainty, perhaps even fear and anxiety for others. Much work obviously needs to be done in order that this community that we all seek to build will be relevant and will help usher in a higher quality of life for our region's poor. The attributes of an economic community began to unfold decades ago. The road for an AEC has been paved. We just need to make sure that the path we will take will indeed bring us to the goal of a better life for all of the people in the region. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.